concerns that are being raised. First of all, have you seen the CI, and what do you make of what is being proposed in terms of registration, for example?
Um, I have followed it broadly. I've heard of the intent to make the Ghana card the sole source of identification or something to that effect. And then about registration at the district center. That much I have heard. Beyond that, I don't have any other details. But let me ask you, how much time do you? I see that you want to talk about electoral commission. How much time do we have for this?
No, it's difficult to tell. I think perhaps I'll raise the questions, then I'll respond, and then let's see where it goes.
Very well. Okay.
Yeah. So, first of all, the things you've heard about the proposals, there are two proposals that are being made. One, that the Ghana card will be the sole identification can produce as proof of first your age, that you are 18 years and above, and then that you're Ghanaian in order for you to register to be a voter. The second one, where the district offices are being proposed as the main centers for registration. What do you make of those two?
Well, my difficulty is this, and that's why I was asking you how much time we have. Whenever we jump into the technical details or the technicalities of anything that this electoral commission proposes, we get trapped because we fail to understand that we are dealing with a body that basically does as it pleases. And it's acting essentially as an extension of the NPC and Jubilee House. It's doing any and everything it can to advantage opponents of the NPC. This much has been clear from the very first moment of this new electoral commission. When the president and his party engineered the removal of the previous electoral commissioner. And the first thing she did, the first thing the new electoral commission did, was to confine the IPAC regime, to trash it and throw it out of the window. And many people, principally the main opposition party, does not seem to have figured out what is going on, and they've not been able to speak to it adequately. So today you hear people talking about the electoral commission. And then occasionally they mention IPAC. And it's as if they are talking about the same animal that existed and the Aparijan and Mensah lot of things. No. By the time of the exit of Dr. Aparijan, IPAC, which has started tentatively after the elections of 96, because of the Syria dispute first in 92 and 96, raised by the MPC, I started as an advisory body, and at every step. And I'm saying this because I was an active participant in IPAC when our party, the National Reform Party, was born. So from the period, I believe, 1999 through 2000, all the way up to the death of that party, I was one of two representatives of the National Reform Party at IPAC. Now, by the end of the term of Dr. Aparijan, IPAC, although it was a stranger to our constitution, had become convention. It had become a mechanism for open, consultative, consensual decision making on the management of our elections, and had developed to a point where it had almost become a gold standard. Globally, IPAC had become the venue where every problem, real or imaginary, about the inadequacies of our electoral system, invariably brought up by the NPP, was addressed. And people will recall the progression we made from pictureless, what do you call it? ID card, black and white, pictureless ID card, black and white pictures, to color pictures, to transparent ballot boxes, to the party agents being involved at every step of the generation of electoral materials, the transportation, etc., etc. I'm sure you can speak to that. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Doc.
Okay, I thought for a moment that I had lost.
Oh, no, I'm here. I'm listening to you attentively.
Good. And I'm saying that by the time Dr. Fajan was exiting, IPAC had developed initially to the opposition of the ruling NDC at the time, had become the gold standard for consultative, consensual management of the electoral state. There are few issues that had not been addressed. One had to do with the transmission but by and large, especially with the introduction of biometric registration, which was an idea first floated by, I believe, Gabia Dakum, right?
Yeah, Gabia Saroche Dakum, yes.
Yeah. Initially against the opposition of the NDC, was adopted, which made one of the tried and tested means of rigging, which is multiple registration, a thing of the past. But you know, this is something that many people do not know. Owing to the serial defeat of what is today's NPP from 1951 to 1954 to 1956 to 1960, when we had this combined plebiscite and election of the president on a simple question of yes or no to the republic. When the Dr. Dankwa stood on the no platform against Nkrumah and garnered, I believe, 11 point something percent. The NPP and following it, other parties have developed this scheme of encouraging their supporters, their members, to engage in multiple registration. So people will register in Accra, wherever they are, and they encourage and back to their places of origin to also go and register. And on polling day, those bloated numbers will be the basis for electoral operation. you know, I don't need to say more. Now, this has become part of the armory of practically all parties. Now, it appears that when Mr. Javier said that was proposing this, it was lost on elders of the party. Initially, I think the NDC was opposed to it. Someone must have stepped on their toes and told them that, look, this could be to your advantage because it would take away this divide. So they agreed. People have lost track of all of this because when the first NPP administration came on, along with J.H. Mensah's prediction that the NDC and by extension all the other opposition parties were going to be dead by the end of their term. I believe you remember that.
Yeah.
They set about to reverse the architecture or the manner of operation of the Electoral Commission. One of the things they did was to float something about some alleged foreign exchange operation, illegal foreign exchange transactions involving the then Electoral Commission. Okay, it was floated by Gabi, and then it briefly went dead. While that was hanging over the commissioner, we went into the 2004 election. They are taking control of the transmission process. They have altered the results of proof, and I believe one other constituency. I believe you remember that. Hello?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Now, when the NDP got wind of that, they quickly convened at the castle and they declared the results of the election. The rest is, as they say, history. The 2004 election was stolen in plain sight. I believe the NDC took the matter to court. I believe the ballot boards were supposed to be kept untouched for the purposes of the court. Before anyone could say that, they had been destroyed. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. And ahead of those elections, all the way up to 2008, the NPP tried every device to take control and to alter the operations of the Electoral Commission. At one point, they even wanted to do procurement for them. Now, I'm talking about we, the corner of the NPP, have rejected Global. You know Ropal?
Yes.
No, it was Ropal. The registration bill for registering and allowing voters who are outside our shores to vote. That has been floated by the NDC before they exited in 2000. We are opposed it on the basis that it was a regime that controls the embassy where the voting will be held, right? It was regime officials who will be returning officers, blah, 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 blah. And our parties being out of government will be handicapped, will have no observers, nothing. And plus other considerations. We all said no. And the NDC backed down. Well, fast forward, the NDC takes power and they rush through Ropal. I heard you were talking earlier to Bernard Mona,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes. Myself, Bernard Mona, the late Alaji Baturi, Kwesi Pratt, all our friends, Daniel Foriata, the late Daniel Foriata. We were on the street saying that no, this should not happen. Why? It provoked stone throwing by the agents, and the police used that as a pretext to beat us very, very, very well. Some escaped by the skin of their teeth. I believe that's one of the things that sent Danny Koyato to his grave. And I'm taking my time going through this history. Because nothing that the Mensah and her commissioners have done since they took power or they took charge of the EC follows logic or makes sense.
Follows logic or makes sense.
Yes, it is not supposed to follow logic or make sense. It's about handing over advantages to the MPP so that it becomes entrenched. Simplicity.
So that's all you see in even the CI.
That is what it is. And I'm sure that by the next election, in the last election, I have told you that one of the weak areas of our electoral system, which we are not addressed by the time President left office, was the area of transmission, right?
Yes.
That has not been addressed. Now, in the last election, they introduced one level of opacity, regional coalition. And when the NDC, having incompetently addressed the matter of the issue and the way it was behaving outside of logic, they even allowed themselves to be conned by this committee of eminent MPP apologists. What do you call that committee?
I think that's the name, Committee of Eminent Persons.
Yes, these are all MPP placeholders. And the NDC played along with this nonsense. How? So, well, that is all in the past. Now, this regime intends to stay in power. He has control of the courts. The courts do as they please, as they direct. He has control of the electoral commission. He has control of the police and the security services. Breaking the age is guaranteed. And the last election, we saw it. When things came, when the push came to shove, the commander-in-chief introduced the military into the coalition system. 8 persons at least were gunned down. And to the eternal shame of the NDC, this has gone quiet. I cannot imagine that the NPP will go silent about the gunning down of 8 of their members. I cannot believe that.
Look, we would have to bring this to a close, and I wanted to ask you what you expect of Parliament today when she appears before, because already is a draft CI. It's not ready. It's not in Parliament yet. What happened was sprilling.
So the first thing I expect of our Parliament to do, the first and only thing I expect of our Parliament to do, is to ask the Electoral Commissioner to provide evidence of the alleged problem on the basis of which they intend to do what they want.
I think that has been done. They've asked her. She's provided evidence of what she said was an abuse of the vouching process. And
Evidence of what?
an abuse of the vouching process, and
Which
that
amount?
involved four people.
Yes, the evidence is about 4 instances.
Yeah, 4 instances, yes.
Okay, that is stupidity. If you are dealing with a sample of several million, pardon the strength of my language, that is extreme stupidity.
It is not evidence enough.
What evidence? You are dealing with a sample of several million. 19 million is a figure I think I hear. 4 instances. You believe it's sufficient to jettison all the expenditure and all the time that has been wasted for the needless re-registration the last time, where the Supreme Court went through hoops and contortions to say that I'm trying to recall what it was. That was our birth certificates are no evidence of our citizenship or something to that effect. Can you imagine such foolishness in a place where people are rational and they are thinking straight? So that's something the point that I don't get into any of the technical arguments with this issue because it is not about any of those. It's about handing a permanent thing, about making the entity and you see, and one other thing. I see that I have many friends in the NDC. They seem to believe that the NPP sees them as a legitimate force in our politics. The NPP does not recognize any opposition as legitimate. They don't. So when you talk to people, man, they think that, oh, this business of alternation of parties and whatever it is a given. Sorry. The NPP doesn't see it that way. And all of this is about entrenching their power and making it possible to remove them. Period.
Doc, thank you.
I just wanted to make just one last point.
Okay.
You know that when things came to the show, when the last presidential poll, when the NDC candidate moved the court to examine this matter, the electoral commissioner will not even mount the box to tell us how he manufactured the figures he finally put out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And next, I will not be surprised if he conjures up the figures from her underclothes. On the basis of what the court has said, it will be legitimate.